This guy, he's so terrifying. Looking at Xiao Yin standing there like a war god, Yuan Feng's lips couldn't help but dry up. Who would have thought that this seemingly ordinary person was actually the strongest among them all? Only now did Yuan Feng vaguely realize that this person might have a deep connection with Queen Xun'er. Thousand Water Prison Cage. In an instant, a dazzling water element surrounded Li Yuan, and a powerful shout echoed through the void. Lovesickness Flame Domain. A moment later, Xiao Yin roared again. The Lovesickness Flame Domain was filled with the unique power of longing, and the special effect of this domain was to increase one's power by 1 level, while weakening the enemy's power by 1 level. Impossible! As Xiao Yin shouted, Su Huang and Li Yuan's power immediately dropped from mid-stage of 6-star Do Xian to early stage of 6-star Do Xian, while Xiao Yin's strength effortlessly broke through to the mid-stage of 6-star Do Xian. Boom! After a brief moment of surprise, Li Yuan's hand shot out a soft-colored water prison cage, which quickly expanded and shot toward Xiao Yin. Creak! With a light movement, Xiao Yin, enhanced by his battle soul and dragon god transformation, raised his arm covered in dragon scales and casually waved at the water prison cage. The attack disintegrated into dust, scattering in the air. How could this be? Seeing Xiao Yin so easily dissolve his attack, Li Yuan's expression darkened. Rock spikes. Not long after, countless yellowish rocks suddenly erupted around Xiao Yin. Their sharpness could easily obliterate Xiao Yin. Sky-breaking rock burial. Seeing the massive rock spikes, Xiao Yin leaped into the air. Yellowish flames spread from his body, and a powerful suction force immediately gathered the rocks together, transforming them into a sticky, spherical mass of stone. However, the destructive power radiating from this mass was far stronger than before. Here, take this. After a few breaths, Xiao Yin sneered and slammed his palm toward Li Yuan and Su Huang. The huge mass of rock from the sky-breaking rock burial shot toward them with unstoppable force. Bang! 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 Su Huang and Li Yuan simultaneously joined forces, gathering their Do Qi in front of them to form an extremely strong defensive light shield. They barely managed to block Xiao Yan's attack, but even so, the terrifying shockwave made their hearts race with fear. A mere mid-stage 5-star Do Xian could have been easily crushed by them in the past, but today his strength had surged dramatically, and his combat power was terrifyingly abnormal. They had truly kicked a stone today, and anger surged in their hearts. Xiao Yin, this pair is quite powerful. I'll hold one of them off. Quickly kill them. Otherwise, if any elders from the Elder Council notice, our situation might. Yuan Feng, who had regained some Do Qi, spoke up as he observed the continued standoff between the three. Xiao Yan's strength and combat ability had indeed grown exponentially, but Su Huang and Li Yuan were seasoned veterans. Although they were steadily retreating, they maintained control over the situation. Once the time for Xiao Yan's secret power-boosting method expired, the outcome was clear. All right. Hearing this, Xiao Yin was overjoyed. His current situation was exactly as Yuan Feng had predicted, and in order not to alarm any powerful figures from the Elder Council, he dared not use too much sacred flame. Additionally, Xiao Yan's current strength wasn't enough to truly threaten 6-star Do Xian experts, so the battle stalemated. Su Huang. In the pinkish domain, a pink liquid separated Yuan Feng and Li Yuan from Xiao Yin. Xiao Yin licked his lips, his expression turning fiery as he laughed. Humph! You're just a useless fool relying on secret methods. Once I capture you, let's see how arrogant you are. Rock armor. In an instant, only Xiao Yin and Su Huang remained in the area. Yellow rocks surged from Su Huang's body and formed into a rock armor. The armor was adorned with special patterns resembling soul beasts, hinting at its extraordinary nature. 7-layered Skybreaker Ruler. Heaven-shifting ruler. Seeing this, Xiao Yin seemed to contemplate for a moment before he swung the ancient ruler of heavenly flames at Su Huang. The fierce-looking flame ruler didn't leave a single mark on the rock armor. It was as if it had no effect, almost like a child's play. Ha ha ha. Now you're finished. Giant rock blade. Seeing Xiao Yan's confused expression, Su Huang laughed maniacally. A small, exquisite knife appeared in his hand. The knife was sharp at both ends like a dagger, but its handle was in the center, emanating a heavy aura. It seems I'll have to use that. Xiao Yin sighed helplessly. Without powerful enough Do techniques, fighting beyond his rank was quite difficult. Rock blade. With another cold snort, he suddenly looked at Xiao Yin, who stood motionless in midair. His figure surged, gripping the yellowish small blade in his hand and heading straight for Xiao Yan's crown. Such a terrifying attack, if it truly hit, would likely result in a fatal blow or serious injury, ghostly echoing heavenly illusions. Just as Su Huang felt certain of victory, his lips curling into a smile, his palm already less than a meter from Xiao Yan's crown, a sound like a bird's call echoed through the entire pink domain. In an instant, the sound shook Su Huang's figure and actions, making them slow down. Thud. It's over. In the blink of an eye, a massive ruler, surrounded by countless flames, pierced through Su Huang's body, and a voice full of dominion spread out. Thud, thud, thud. Soul attack. Strange blood poured from Su Huang's mouth, and his face turned pale. Even from the chest where Xiao Yin had pierced, strands of fiery red flames burned continuously, causing his soul's surface to hum. Ghost creatures from the ghost realm, when struck by a fatal attack, would also release ghost source, resembling human blood, with similar effects. Now, as Su Huang's ghost source poured out rapidly, it was only a matter of time before it disappeared completely. No. Seeing this, Li Yuan, who was entangled by Yuan Feng, shrank his pupils and roared. Xiao Yin next time? Seeing his own state, Su Huang snorted coldly. Then his body began to fade, and brilliant spatial energy spread from his palm. Space scroll. This guy wants to escape. Escape? Undying fire. Watching Su Huang attempt to flee, Xiao Yin snorted, and the dazzling undying fire surged out, easily igniting Su Huang completely. A painful scream erupted, but before long, Su Huang's body turned into nothingness, leaving only a trace of soul essence that fused into the battle soul body. At that moment, this mid-stage, 6-star Docian powerhouse fell at Xiao Yan's hands. You die too. Seeing Xiao Yan's attack, Yuan Feng sneered. Taking advantage of Li Yuan's momentary daze, a destructive attack was launched straight at him. In an instant, the 3 mid-stage, 6-star Docian guardians of the primordial river were completely obliterated. Young Master Xiao Yin, the previous members of the team were disrespectful to you. As the captain, I failed to discipline them properly, and I apologize on their behalf. After confirming that the 3 had been fully defeated, Yuan Feng spoke humbly to Xiao Yin. At this moment, Xiao Yin had earned Yuan Feng's respect through his actions. Captain Yuan, you're too polite. Xiao Yin replied casually, brushing it off as though it was of little importance. Young Master Xiao Yin, you truly are a hero. No wonder you're with Lord Xun'er. After a brief pause, Yuan Feng couldn't help but boast, evidently thinking that Xiao Yin had some connection to Xun'er. She's my senior sister, Xiao Yin said, immediately feeling a headache as he retracted his battle soul domain and other techniques. He said helplessly, worried that this guy might spread rumors. Senior sister? Yuan Feng's smile froze instantly, and a sense of shock spread from the depths of his heart. Young Master Xiao Yin. After a moment, Yuan Feng suddenly realized something and immediately knelt before Xiao Yin in respect. In the soul-devouring domain, the Devourer of Souls was undoubtedly the supreme ruler, and the 3 disciples he accepted were all extraordinarily gifted. Among them, Xun'er, the last to join, was the most powerful and talented. Now that Xiao Yin called her his senior sister, and recalling that Xiao Yin had stood beside her before, Yuan Feng understood. Xiao Yin was actually the 4th disciple of the Devourer of Souls. Being a disciple of the Devourer of Souls was an identity that even surpassed the 7 great academies in the soul-devouring domain. Therefore, Yuan Feng showed utmost respect to him. After all, someone with such a noble identity and immense strength naturally commands the respect of others. Enough, Captain Yuan. Now that the situation here is resolved, you should head back and report, and lead the main forces to attack, catching them off guard, Xiao Yin said with a smile. Young Master Xiao Yin, what about you? Yuan Feng, who had originally planned to do so, realized that the battle situation could change at any moment and delayed his hesitation, knowing the opportunity would be gone if they did not act swiftly. I have other matters to attend to. Xiao Yan's gaze swept across the hall as he smiled. Then I'll take my leave. Please take care, my lord. Not long after, Yuan Feng spoke lightly and then returned along the same path. Whoosh whoosh. After a moment, as Yuan Feng left, the hall fell silent again. Xiao Yan stood up from his seat in the center of the hall and smiled slightly. Hee, this place seems to be the spatial passage leading to the Hall of the Master of Ferocious Souls. Not long after, Xiao Yan moved around the hall and stopped in front of an eerie painting at the center. As he spoke, his gaze turned fiery with excitement. Now, everything was ready except for the last crucial element. Once he found the Lovesickness Heartbreak flame, this trip to the ghost realm would be a complete success. Moreover, based on Xiao Yan's estimations, the war between the Light Demon, the Ferocious Soul Domain, and the Soul-Devouring Domain wouldn't reach a full-scale destructive confrontation anytime soon, so he still had time. As for how Xiao Yan knew that there was a spatial passage to the Divine Hall in this hall, it was because of the items left behind by the 3 6-star experts who had died earlier. As soon as Xiao Yan's soul power sensed them, it conveniently benefited him. Among the entire hall, only this spot contains a faint trace of spatial energy. This should be the passage to the Elder Council. Xiao Yan gazed at the painting, which depicted only some landscapes, with no other content, and spoke. Crack! With a light raise of his hand, Xiao Yan caused the painting to twist like a vortex, suddenly emitting a dazzling pull, sucking him into it. The terrifying force caused unease in his heart. Whoosh whoosh. Xiao Yan did not resist but kept his soul power alert, curious about where this passage led. However, due to the length of the passage, Xiao Yan couldn't reach the end quickly. Meanwhile, Yuan Feng was returning along the same path but encountered another team. They clashed with the guardians stationed at the Primordial River, suffering heavy losses. Fortunately, with Yuan Feng's help, they safely returned to the Soul-Devouring Domain's headquarters, which was responsible for attacking the Elder Council. My lord, the matter has been investigated. Far from Yuan Feng, in the heart of a mountain valley, several tents appeared. Inside, a few figures stood, their gazes sharp, their armors and the aura surrounding them sending a chill down one's spine. Yuan Feng, is what you said true? Upon hearing Yuan Feng's detailed account, the strong figures present couldn't help but speak. My lord, everything I said is true, Yuan Feng replied seriously. General, what should we do? After discussing among themselves, the leaders turned their cautious gazes to the fierce-looking man at the head of the tent. Right now, the 5 great academies of the Ferocious Soul Domain have formed the largest battlefield outside their academies to counter the Light Demon. In addition, there are 5 more battlefields within the academies. The fierce man spoke coldly. The strong of the 5 great academies have been mobilized in large numbers, so I estimate there won't be many 7-star Dou-Xian experts in the Elder Council. As for the 8-star Dou-Xian experts, they are likely non-existent. However, to be cautious, I will join you on this mission. Yuan Feng, you've worked hard this time. After this battle, the credit of you and Lord Xiao Yan will be reported together, the fierce man said. Your wisdom is unmatched. Yuan Feng replied, feeling reassured. The Soul-Devouring Domain had sent out 7 teams. 1 to monitor the main battlefield between the Light Demon and the Ferocious Soul Domain, 5 assigned to attack the 5 great academies, and the last was an elite team waiting for the final showdown. Among these 7 teams, numbering around a few hundred, every member was capable of taking on hundreds of enemies, and each team was led by an 8-star Dou-Xian. At that moment, the fierce-looking man in the tent was the highest-ranking commander responsible for attacking the elder-level strongholds, Wolf General. Known for his strength, the early-stage 8-star Dou-Xian, Wolf General, was ranked in the top 20 in the Ferocious Soul Domain purely based on power, which had earned him a fearsome reputation. Order the troops. Starting tonight, only 6-star Dou-Xian and below are allowed to engage the Elder Council. If 7-star Dou-Xian appear on the enemy's side, we will retaliate. Otherwise, 7-star Dou-Xian and above are not to act rashly. Wolf General's voice was grave. Understood. The soldiers nodded slowly, their blood starting to boil with excitement. The true revenge had begun, and this beginning could only be painted with blood. Other forces were also dispersing in all directions. With the addition of the space sealing technique used by the ferocious soul domain, the situation here, in the Seven Realms and even the Great Thousand Worlds, was completely shrouded in mystery. If not for this, the Light Demon's large-scale assault over the past half-year would have already led to a joint counterattack from the experts of the Seven Realms. However, such a space sealing technique could only be deployed by those who had touched the threshold of reincarnation, and currently, the ferocious soul domain didn't have any experts of that caliber. In fact, due to the ongoing battle, the news of the ferocious soul domain's closure was unknown even to powerful figures like the Light Demon and Xun'er. Whoosh whoosh. What kind of place is this? Xiao Yin, still traveling through the spatial tunnel, didn't feel anything wrong at first, but as time passed, the dark space tunnel began to slowly consume his do qi, making him uncomfortable. Something feels off here. Xiao Yin stopped for a moment, gazing ahead with a hesitant expression. For some unknown reason, with his soul power, this spatial tunnel leading to the ferocious soul master's divine hall felt extremely dangerous. Let's go. Without further hesitation, Xiao Yin swung his hand and struck at the void in a certain part of the space tunnel. The space shattered immediately, and Xiao Yin's figure surged through. The space tunnel itself was fairly stable, but leaving it midway, like Xiao Yin was doing, was extremely risky as it could result in random teleportation. Crack. A strange group of figures, all bathed in black, eerie light, emerged from the tunnel. One of them murmured, "Odd, this fluctuation just now feels strangely familiar." A peculiar man spoke up. "Let's go. We'll soon reach the divine hall. All of you, stay alert." As soon as the words fell, a large group of individuals, their bodies enveloped in ghostly energy, marched toward the space tunnel. Judging by their appearance, they seemed to be from the Ghost King realm, and from the looks of it, their target also appeared to be the ferocious soul master's divine hall. Whoosh! Xiao Yin transformed into a streak of light, darting out of the space tunnel and arriving in a strange land. What is this place? As soon as he arrived, Xiao Yin's heart skipped a beat. Looking around, Xiao Yin found himself in the middle of a desolate golden-yellow desert. Winds of gray sand continuously rose from the desert, and strange, hidden presences filled the air. This should be the ferocious soul master's divine hall, Xiao Yin confirmed with a smile. According to his earlier soul scan, this was clearly inside the divine hall. The ferocious soul master's divine hall could only be accessed through a special formation within the 5 great academies. The location of the divine hall was one of the earth veins rich in ghostly energy from the ghost realm, the desolate ghost desert. This was one of the places in the ghost realm rich in natural energy. Though it was under the scorching desert sun, the profound energy buried beneath the sand made it an ideal spot for cultivation. Many powerful beings sought to train here, knowing that long-term practice in this area yielded exponential results. Hee, good thing I have the map. After a quick scan of his surroundings, Xiao Yin waved his hand, pulling out a finely crafted piece of parchment from his chest. Without this, finding the Heartbreak flame would be much harder. This map is really convenient. This map was the result of his earlier transaction with Xun'er, and it recorded the exact location of the ferocious soul master's divine hall. Unfolding the map carefully, Xiao Yin sat cross-legged and began examining it. The map clearly outlined the entire desolate ghost desert. Not only did it mark the locations of the 4 great divine halls of the ferocious soul master in the southeast, southwest, northeast, and northwest, but it also highlighted dangerous or notable areas. There are actually 4 great divine halls. Looking at the 4 glowing dots at the corners of the map, Xiao Yin murmured, "Buzz buzz." At the same time, the core inscriptions within Xiao Yin, which had been dim for some time, suddenly flared with bright fear. The source of this fear seemed to stem from the map itself. What's going on? Sensing this unusual occurrence, Xiao Yin became immediately cautious. Though the power of formations was rarely used, Xiao Yin knew their strength well. The fact that the core inscriptions were reacting so strongly meant there was likely a terrifying formation at work in the desolate ghost desert. The positions of these 4 great divine halls. Something's not quite right, Xiao muttered, his focus narrowing. Upon further inspection, he realized the locations of the 4 divine halls seemed to form a subtle formation. Forget it. I'll go one step at a time. Now that his strength had surged dramatically, he still felt as weak as an ant when facing the peak combat power of the ferocious soul domain. However, no matter what, the Heartbreak flame must be obtained. There was no turning back. In the desolate ghost desert, sandstorms raged fiercely. Such a harsh environment had given rise to the concept of danger zones. Cloaked in black, Xiao concealed his aura to appear as just another ghostly creature from the ghost realm, walking through the desert, battling the sand and wind. Isn't that Xiao? A strange figure quietly followed Xiao path. Xiao had not walked for long before he had to stop. Before him, a violent storm, stretching a full 100 feet, suddenly appeared. In an instant, the surrounding energies of heaven and earth surged wildly. Xiao, seeing this, had no choice but to halt and wait for the storm to pass. After all, this was the very heart of the ferocious soul domain. If he used too much power, it might draw the attention of powerful experts, and his fate would likely be grim. However, Xiao had underestimated the storm's power. The storm raged, leaving no vegetation in its wake. It seemed that a ghostly force was at play in the heart of the storm, making Xiao wary. Damn, this storm is that strong? Xiao muttered, staring at the mighty force before him. Bang! 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 Just as Xiao was about to unleash his power to break through the storm, a shadow surged from behind him, pulling him into the desert's depths, and the storm subsided slightly. Strange, there was definitely another presence here just now. Was it an illusion? As Xiao vanished, a voice in the storm mumbled to itself. You were. Not long after, Xiao gaze landed on the black figure in front of him, and he gasped. If it weren't for Xun'er just now, Xiao situation would have been dire indeed. What's going on? Xiao growled inwardly as he was pulled into a dark tunnel beneath the desert by the black-cloaked figure. However, he noticed that the figure did not carry any ill intent and even emitted a familiar aura. He didn't struggle and just followed along. After entering the depths of the desert, the black-cloaked figure concealed its aura. Before Xiao could speak, the next moment unfolded. Shoo. The black-clad figure raised a jade hand from beneath the cloak and signaled Xiao to stay quiet. Both of them stood silently. When the storm above finally started to subside, the black-clad figure spoke. That was a patrol soldier from the ferocious soul domain. If we had been discovered by now, we would already be in pieces. After a moment, the black-cloaked figure relaxed, adopting a lazy posture, and sat down on a nearby rock next to Xiao. Xiao was stunned at the sight. Xiao, we meet again. After a moment, the black-clad figure removed her cloak, revealing a very ordinary face, and spoke. Indeed, it's Xun'er. Xiao smiled as he confirmed his suspicions upon seeing the ethereal soul before him. By the way, how did you end up here? Why did you come here at this time? The two exchanged a glance, then spoke simultaneously, both expressions filled with disbelief. I came here to find the master of ferocious souls. I need to verify a few things. Xun'er, without hesitation, spoke. She had subconsciously placed Xiao in the category of not being an enemy, but rather a friend. So, the conversation flowed easily. I told you before, I would come here sooner or later, though only to find the Heartbreak flame. Xiao said casually, but there was a hint of sorrow in his voice. I don't know what you need the Heartbreak flame for, but it does have the ability to revive the dead and turn bones back into flesh. I wish you luck. Xun'er said softly. Since that's the case, how about we join forces? We can help each other out. Xiao smiled as he spoke. He knew that although Xun'er wasn't very strong, as one of the few remaining members of the Soul Hall, she was extremely familiar with the ferocious soul domain, the hatred towards the master of ferocious souls, and the location of the Divine Hall. Xiao trusted her, so he had no reservations about this suggestion. Join forces? Wait, have you managed to devour the undying fire? Xun'er, not having had time to process Xiao suggestion, was stunned when she noticed the significant increase in his strength. She immediately asked in confusion. Such a sudden surge in power could only be explained by devouring the undying fire. If not, Xun'er would never have believed it. However, she couldn't understand how devouring sacred flame would increase one's strength, as it had nothing to do with what they had been studying. Xiao nodded slightly. He raised his hand, and a grayish flame flickered into existence. It really is the undying fire. Watching this scene, Xun'er couldn't help but feel a trace of envy in her heart. Originally, according to her teacher's wishes, both the undying fire and the heartbreak flame were supposed to be hers. However, Xiao appearance had disrupted her plans. Yet, Xun'er wasn't upset by this. On the contrary, she felt a sense of joy, because the pain that a ghostly creature had to endure when devouring the sacred flame filled her with fear. It was precisely because she had witnessed such torturous agony, leaving one almost crippled, that her teacher had regretted the research. At that time, when the research was successful, her teacher had deliberately held back some of the methods, which was why Xun'er still had the means to threaten the master of ferocious souls. It was just that Xiao was unaware of this. All right, I came here on a mission. This time, either the master of ferocious souls will fall, or I will perish. Seeing Xiao enthusiastic reaction, Xun'er didn't hesitate and directly agreed. Since we've agreed, what should we do now? With Xun'er's confirmation, Xiao let out a sigh of relief. Right now, we're in the desolate ghost desert. According to the information my teacher gathered, the battle between the three major factions has been going on for quite some time. Even though the ferocious soul domain is in a critical situation, the master of ferocious souls hasn't shown himself. It's likely that he's hiding in one of the 4 divine halls, secluding himself. We must first locate him before we can proceed, Xun'er explained. My soul power can't pinpoint his exact location for now, but from my senses, the aura of the master of ferocious souls is everywhere in the 4 divine halls. He must have anticipated this moment before entering seclusion, leaving behind some interference. We only have one chance. Xiao analyzed. After speaking, his brilliant gaze couldn't help but fall upon the graceful figure beneath Xun'er's black robe. A 1 in 4 chance? Xun'er smiled slowly, seemingly unconcerned. The Master of Ferocious Souls Divine Hall is divided into 4, with the northern one being the strongest in combat power, and the western Divine Hall being the weakest, Xun'er continued, unaffected by Xiao comment. What does this have to do with the Master of Ferocious Souls? Xiao asked, confused. In the past, the Master of Ferocious Souls mostly resided in the northern Divine Hall, which is the most powerful of the 4 Divine Halls, and is also home to the Ferocious Soul Guards. So, you think the Master of Ferocious Souls will choose to enter seclusion there? Xun'er spoke again, a faint heat radiating from beneath her black robe. The Master of Ferocious Souls is extremely cautious and would never allow such an important matter to take place in a dangerous location. He would definitely choose the safest place. That's why I believe he will choose the Western Divine Hall, Xiao said, raising his head. For some reason, every time he looked at the Western Divine Hall, a ripple of flame seemed to stir within him, clearly the power of the sacred flame. Oh! Hearing Xiao words, Xun'er's voice held a trace of surprise. How's that? Xiao asked. According to my information, if nothing goes wrong, the Master of Ferocious Souls should indeed be in the Western Divine Hall. However, this is still uncertain. You'd better think carefully. If we fail this time, or if the information is wrong, there will be no chance for the Heartbreak flame, Xun'er warned. It's fine, let's go. I believe the Master of Ferocious Souls knows this too. The most dangerous place is also the safest place. Xiao smiled faintly, showing no sign of worry. Let's go. With that, the two of them teamed up, disguised themselves, and left the path, heading towards the Western Divine Hall. After all, this temporary path could not exist for long. The Western Divine Hall, the weakest of the 4 Divine Halls, was also filled with great danger, for powerful experts hid within all the halls. Most were at the 7-star Docian level, and even the weakest Western Divine Hall had a Hall Master whose power was at the 8-star Docian level. This time, what awaited Xiao Yin and Xun'er in their journey to the Master of Ferocious Souls' Divine Hall was uncertain. Would it be the Heartbreak Flame, or would it be an unprecedented disaster? The desolate ghost desert, where the sandstorms were fierce, was protected by the endless, sunless winds. Ordinary human experts or native ghosts from the ghost realm would likely suffer irreversible damage to their bodies and souls if exposed to these winds for long periods. The ghostly weather here. Xiao Yin and Xun'er walked quietly through the desolate ghost desert. All around them was endless golden sand, with nothing else in sight. The dry heat made it difficult to stay calm. Don't look around, just follow me. A moment later, Xun'er's beautiful eyes scanned the surroundings. Even though I have enough healing pills with me, continuing like this isn't a solution. Xiao Yin helplessly put down the items in his hand and spoke. Looking around, on the golden yellow desert, gusts of wild wind howled, while the desert's surface, due to the extremely high temperature, occasionally shimmered like a mirage. If one wasn't careful, they would easily fall into it, making it hard to guard against. I remember that in the Western Divine Palace, every so often, there are guards assigned to deliver some items to the temple. Judging by the time, it should be about that time. Seeing the confused expression on Xiao Yan's face, Xun'er spoke. Follow me later. With our disguised auras, we should be able to blend in easily. Soon after, Xun'er added. As soon as the words were spoken, both of them concealed themselves in the desert. Not far from Xiao Yin and Xun'er, in another part of the desert, several figures appeared. Hurry up. These items are specifically requested by the Lord of the Western Divine Palace. If you delay, you know the consequences, said a man at the head of the group. His body was marked with a dark red west, and he looked sternly at the others. Captain, there's still plenty of time before the date set by the Lord of the Western Palace. There's no need to rush. After all, this desert's cursed weather isn't easy to handle. One of the others said, trying to calm him down. That's right, that's right. Besides, with the current turmoil, even if we are delayed, those big shots probably won't focus too much on us, some others murmured from the back. Sigh. You little brats, the man at the front shrugged and smiled. This was a caravan, made up of several dozen people. 10 of them were riding white horses and wearing red robes. These robes seemed to shield them from the sandstorms. In the center, there were soul beasts used to transport goods, as well as carefully guarded materials and a sedan chair. Help! At that moment, a sharp scream echoed through the air. 2 strange black figures quickly rushed toward them, as though they were on guard against some kind of threat. Whoosh! Whoosh! What's going on? At this moment, a gentle-looking man from the caravan jumped up, locked eyes with the leader, and then shot toward the 2 black figures. Help! Help! The 2 black figures murmured as they saw the caravan making a move. Rustle, rustle. You 2, quickly reveal the location of the Western Divine Palace, or else? Another eerie black figure coldly snorted. The 2 black figures were, of course, Xiao Yin and Xun'er. The 2 who had disguised themselves as attackers were Xiao Yan's soul clone, Xiao Lei. Xiao Yin, with his vast abilities, had disguised Xiao Lei, creating an aura similar to that of a powerful figure from the ghost realm, easily deceiving the caravan. Your actions are akin to declaring war on the 4 divine halls. The caravan leader dismounted and approached the 2. A faint green do chi swirling around him. Wind attribute, and he's a 6-star do xian with the great heavenly seed of wind. Xiao Yin thought in surprise. Captain, I've confirmed it. Both of them are from the 3rd team of the Western Divine Palace, said the man who had earlier helped Xiao Yin, speaking to the captain. Xiao Yin didn't take this information too seriously, but fortunately, Xun'er had made preparations in advance. 3 wind-slaying walls. Without speaking, the caravan leader's palm changed, and gusts of cyan hurricanes surged out, roaring directly toward Xiao Lei, who had disguised himself as a ghostly figure. Such a fierce attack? Seeing the caravan leader's overwhelming strike, Xiao Yin couldn't help but shout in surprise. Xiao Lei was indeed strong, but facing a full-power 6-star do xian expert, he was forced into a disadvantage. And if Xiao Lei was injured, Xiao Yin would not fare any better. Wum wum. Xiao Lei didn't hesitate, leaping and running away as though escaping. Fortunately, the caravan leader and his men didn't pursue, and after a while, when they lowered their guard, Xiao Lei returned to Xiao Yan's body. Thank you, everyone. After the attackers were temporarily repelled, Xiao Yin and Xun'er concealed their auras, their voices weak. You're too kind, my lords, but I am a bit confused. That guy's power wasn't strong, and yet you too. The caravan leader glanced at the two and asked. Although the Western Divine Palace was the weakest of the 4 divine halls, the guards within it were still quite formidable. My lord, I must apologize. This time, I was sent on a mission by the commander, but for some reason, just as we were leaving the Divine Hall and heading outside, we were ambushed, Xun'er said hastily, fearing that Xiao Yin might ruin her plans. As a direct disciple of the headmaster of the Soul Hall, Xun'er had not only mastered all of his teachings, but was also well-versed in the affairs of the 4 divine halls. I see. Hearing this, the merchant caravan captain's doubts slowly faded. After all, given their special identities, he didn't dare to take any action against them. The soldiers of the 4 divine halls were the true powerhouses of the entire ferocious soul domain. Since both of you are soldiers of the Western Divine Palace, please, come back with us. We're transporting supplies anyway, the caravan captain said, glancing at the two of them. We cannot. Our military orders are restrictive. Xiao Yin began to refuse, but his breath was unstable, and he couldn't help but cough. Heh, there's no need to decline, my lords, the caravan captain said with a grin. In a few days, we will reach the Western Divine Palace. I ask that you guide us, avoiding the more dangerous areas of the desolate Ghost Desert. Since that's the case, we would be honored to comply, Xun'er replied softly.